Today on Open Minds UFO Report, a documentary on top-secret anti-gravity vehicles. Colorado witnesses say a disc-shaped UFO hovered over their home, and UFOs caught on video by 2 night vision cameras in Arizona. Your Open Minds UFO Report starts now. Hello and welcome to the Open Minds UFO Report. My name is Alejandro Rojas. A documentary on the alleged true story of a man who believes he gained inside knowledge about a top-secret anti-gravity spaceship has recently been released despite the death of the movie's creator in 2013. The filmmaker's estate released the video on Vimeo earlier this month. James Allen, the film's creator, says that he originally took on this project as a thesis for the Master's in Fine Arts degree. However, he began to feel that the subject was of immense importance and warranted a full-length documentary. In an interview with OpenMinds.tv in June of 2013, Allen explained, "If this story is true, and at this point I am fairly convinced that it is, it could be a window into one of the most important technological developments in history." Allen describes the technology as a faster-than-light propulsion system that agrees with Einstein's theories and the fact that we are surrounded by unlimited, untapped free energy everywhere. The movie is titled Zero Point, the story of Mark McCandlish and the Flux Liner. McCandlish and his research is the main source for the information in the documentary. McCandlish is an aerospace illustrator and began researching anti-gravity in 1988 when a friend described to him a secret advanced anti-gravity vehicle he had seen at Norton Air Force Base. The story goes, McCandlish and a friend were planning on attending an air show at Norton Air Force Base, but McCandlish had to cancel. His friend did go, and through a well-connected acquaintance, was able to gain entrance to a secured area of the base with a special display for politicians and military personnel with high-level security clearances.
He just kind of sketched out with an ink pen on a piece of legal-size white paper and put some little handwritten call-outs around the edges that described, the number of capacitor plates in each one of the little sections, that there were, they were so wide at the end, and the crew compartment was definitely about 12 feet in diameter. Just kind of put all these things down as close as he could remember to the way they existed. And so I sat down with all this information and I just began sort of drafting it out.
McCandlish's friend told him that in the displays were 3 flying saucers floating above the ground. They made no sound. One of them had the side panels removed so that people could view the inner workings. There was also a monitor showing a video of the craft being test flown. They made hopping maneuvers and then could shoot straight up at incredible speeds, all while making no sound. The craft were referred to as alien reproduction vehicles and also had the nickname the Flux Liner. McCandlish says he believes these craft are part of a secret program that has been around for decades. Using his friend's description, McCandlish sketched the vehicle, and he has done research on how he believes the technology works. He says they use zero-point energy, a concept originally theorized by Albert Einstein. The movie also covers the big trouble that ensued for McCandlish after releasing his drawings. The description says the movie is for those who want a story of intrigue, secrets, and technology. Sadly, Allen was only able to screen the movie a few times before passing away. On December 13, 2013, we received a note from James Gladman, who said he was the executor of Allen's estate. The message said that Allen had passed away the day prior due to an extremely rare type of cancer. Gladman contacted us again recently to let us know that after tying up some loose ends, including pursuing the possibility of a distribution deal, he finally was ready to set the film free. Here is an excerpt of our interview with Allen.
The idea that this is functional technology and certain, a certain strata of our society has been playing around with it on our dime since the 60s, that's kind of a huge thing. And so, I'm kind of mystified as why a lot more people haven't picked up on this and really and sort of hammered on Lockheed or Grumman or whoever to say, are you guys really doing this?
We were happy to participate in getting the word out for James and honored to have known him. We send our condolences to his family and friends. You can find the link to his movie in the description for this video below. A Colorado witness in Commerce City reported watching two bright red disc-shaped UFOs and says one hovered over a neighbor's house, according to a report submitted to the Mutual UFO Network Witness Reporting Database. The sighting took place on July 15th at around 9:15 p.m. A husband and wife said they were watching television when the husband stepped outside to repair a light. He says he then saw a red disc-shaped object. He ran inside to get his wife, but she was not impressed. The witness wrote, "I ran into the house to alert my wife of what I was looking at. She got mad at me and came outside, looked up and said it was an airplane from Denver International Airport and went back into the house. She then called her husband over to look at what she thought were fireworks out of a window. They then noticed that what she was looking at was not fireworks, but another large red disc-shaped object close to their house." The witness writes, "Then it hovered over the house for a while. My wife told me to go outside and get a better look. When I said no, she asked, 'Are you afraid? Are you scared they will take you?' I said, 'Yes, I am.' And then I noticed two F-16s, and then the disc headed east and followed the other red disc at a great speed." Soon after the jets flew over, the witnesses say two black helicopters followed in the same direction. The witness says he called the Air Force to report the event, but he says he was just laughed at. The witness says the whole affair frightened him and he hopes never to see anything like that again. Two men were out skywatching with their night vision cameras on July 4th when they spotted odd lights over a nearby mountain. They watched them for several minutes and caught them on video with their night vision cameras before they disappeared. Tom Sanger says it was about 9 p.m. when they spotted the lights. They were at the Sabino Canyon parking lot on the northeast edge of Tucson, Arizona, at the base of the Catalina Mountains. Sanger says he had his Luna Optics color night vision camera and began filming the lights. At the beginning of the video, some out-of-focus lights can be seen on the far right of the screen. Sanger says those were lights from a radio tower on one of the peaks. However, the strange lights were near a peak to the left of the towers. He says due to tinkering with his camera, sometimes the light seemed to be one big light, but he says they were actually three lights, as can be seen in most of the video. Sanger's friend, Gene Coleman, also had a night vision camera on hand. His was a Pulsar black and white camera. He also began filming, and in the beginning of his video, the radio towers can also be seen on the right. In Coleman's video, the lights look like one giant light because they are too intense for his camera to separate them, but the men say they were three lights. They watched the lights for about 15 minutes before they disappeared. Sanger says the lights came back 27 minutes after disappearing, and Coleman was able to catch those on video. Sanger's camera had ran out of memory, but although Sanger's camera could not record, they did have it attached to a monitor so they could use it to see the lights better. Sanger says the second event was 5 white lights in a row with various flashes and lights showing up here and there. Both videos show different dates and times from when they report seeing the lights, but Sanger says it is because they did not take the time to set the correct date and times on their cameras. As for the size of the object and its distance from the witness, Sanger says the tower lights, being only 8 to 10 miles away, were out of focus badly, and the UFO was in focus, which is the same focus that is correct with this particular camera for stars, satellites, and faraway airplanes. Thus, I would guess this UFO was at least 30 miles out, which would put it over absolute wilderness desert and means it would be huge. Sanger added, "I'm no expert, so I am only guessing on distances." Tucson does have an airport and an Air Force base, but they are both to the south of Sabino Canyon, and the men were purportedly shooting the video to the northeast. As Sanger reported, there is nothing but desert past the Catalina Mountains in that direction. Sanger took a video of the area in the daytime for comparison. His video shows that there is nothing behind the peak he believes can be seen in the video. Often cars driving on mountains can be mistaken for something more mysterious. They usually go on and off as the cars pass behind trees. If Sanger got the wrong peak, that could be the case. At one point in Coleman's video, it looks like the lights could be cars coming over a ridge. As for other possible answers, nearby Davis-Monthan Air Force Base is a home of remote drone operations and training. However, these objects did not appear to be cruising around like drones. Of course, it was also July 4th, so there is a possibility they were fireworks. However, Sanger does not think this is the case. He says, these lights were way out above wilderness areas, so we're miles and miles away from any fireworks display. Take a look at the video and let us know what you think they might be in the comments below. That's your Open Minds UFO report for today. You can find these stories and more at openminds.tv. We post UFO news every day. You can also follow us on Twitter at Open Minds TV, and you can find us on Facebook. Don't forget to register for the International UFO Congress, the Guinness World Record holding largest UFO convention. Early registration is open now, so reserve your spot at the lowest price available all year at ufocongress.com. Let us know if you enjoyed today's episode by liking the episode on YouTube and leaving us your comments in the section below. You can also download our podcast, Open Minds UFO Radio, on iTunes or at openminds.tv/radio. Thanks again for joining us today. For OpenMinds.tv, I'm Alejandro Rojas.